So oftentimes we talk about how corrupt our politicians are, but one thing that we should stress more often is how stupid many of them are. Because what you're about to see here, there's almost no excuse for being this ignorant on politics. This is CNN. Dana Bash is talking to Republican Chris Sununu. Now, if I remember correctly, Chris Sununu, he was one of these Republicans who really supported Nikki Haley aggressively in the primary and said some things about Donald Trump, basically implying he's outside of the realm of respectability and he tried to overturn the last election and it's unacceptable to be in favor of him, et cetera, et cetera. And then after Nikki Haley dropped out, this guy endorsed Donald Trump. Of course he did. So he's going to talk to Dana Bash here about Elon Musk, and he says something that is record-breaking stupidity. Watch, here we go.
The political aspects of what he wants to do on the Hill, and he has outsiders. And as much as people say, well, Elon is a billionaire outsider, first, I don't mind that they're billionaires. I like people that are successful. What is the difference whether they're a billionaire or broke? I'd rather have someone successful. And I like that it's an outsider and an engineer.
Let me just pause right here. He just hit you with the most casual classism of all time. In fact, Trump said something exactly like this in his first term. He was like, why would I want somebody poor? I don't want anybody poor in my administration. I want people who are rich in my administration. And this stems from the notion that if you're wealthy, you must be morally better than everybody, ethically better than everybody, more intelligent than other people. This is the idea that if you made it to this point where you have so much money, it is obviously because we live in a meritocracy and the cream rises to the top. That's what he's saying right there. Now, of course, that is preposterously incorrect. 60% of billionaires come from extreme wealth and privilege, so they're part of the lucky sperm club. Some of the hardest working people I've ever met in my entire life were living at or below the poverty line. This is just a misnomer, but it's classic Republican brain. It's classic MAGA brain. If you have a lot of money, you must just be a better person who's more intelligent and harder working. And that is obviously not the case, but this is about to get a lot worse, guys. Here we go.
What is the difference whether they're a billionaire or broke? I'd rather have someone successful. And I like that it's an outsider and an engineer and not a politician and not looking for anything out of the game.
He's not that much of an outsider.
He's not looking for anything, he said. Here we go.
In fact, one of the criticisms and the concerns is that he has billions of dollars tied up in government contracts. You don't see a conflict of interest here?
Everyone has a conflict of interest
but
at some
that's like
level.
A pretty big one.
The guy's worth $450 billion as of today and this month. So I don't think he's doing it for the money. He's doing it for the bigger project and the bigger vision of America. He doesn't need the dollars. He really doesn't. So it's not about, oh, if I get involved in this, I'll get another little contract here or there. That's nothing to him. So I like the fact that he's, in a way, he's so rich, he's so removed from the potential financial influence of it.
Well, he's so wealthy that obviously he doesn't care, and obviously his motives are pure, and obviously he's going to make good decisions. Look, he has $450 billion. What more evidence do you need? The idea that you can accumulate $450 billion without being an exploitative asshole is beyond absurd. Beyond absurd. He was like, oh, he doesn't care about his government contracts and getting taxpayer money and subsidies and tax breaks for him and his buddies. They don't care about that. That is literally all he cares about. If it's so not a big deal, as this guy is implying, why doesn't Elon cut a check today for $20 billion back to the U.S. Treasury? I'll wait. I would love to see that. The chances of him doing that are 0%. Why? He got $20 billion in U.S. taxpayer money, and he wants a hell of a lot more. He wants more corporate welfare, more subsidies, more tax cuts for him and his buddies. I mean, this guy, he has inverted the reality completely. The reality is, greed is a cancerous scourge in this government. And he's flipped it to pretend, well, Elon's so wealthy and Elon's so powerful that he's obviously doing this for the purest of motives. It's not that he has a lust for more wealth and more power and more greed and more control. This is who this guy is to a T. Just objectively looking at the shit he's done, since he's been a public figure. Look at what just happened this week. He's banning MAGA accounts left and right for disagreeing with him on H-1B visas and crashing out in the process and melting down and debating people under his alt account in Twitter Spaces. Are you kidding me? These people really... We need to come up with a term for this, guys. We need to come up with a term for this. The people who have so thoroughly bought into the myth of Elon Musk. I mean, I've said it before. Everybody tells you he did this great PR full court press about how brilliant he is. But if you put aside all the spin and you just look at him and take him at face value, he's one of the dumbest fucking people in the country. He's one of the dumbest people in the country. Probably the biggest example of somebody who's fallen for the myth of Elon Musk as being this like misunderstood mega genius, bro. It's probably Joe Rogan. It's probably Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan thinks this guy's like God's gift to earth, and he just completely and utterly ignores objectively what he does on a regular basis, right? He just ignores his record. He ignores the shit he says on a regular basis. He ignores that he posts like a fucking 4chan 14-year-old freak who can't get his dick touched. Like this is who this guy is, right? He's a maladjusted weirdo. He's an immigrant, welfare queen, robber baron, and he basically bought the government. And by the way, even if you think genuinely he means well, which he doesn't, as a matter of principle, you should be opposed to such rank and brazen oligarchy where the richest man in the world can spend hundreds of millions of dollars, buy the Republican Party, buy Donald Trump, buy the election, and now he's in the driver's seat where he is on the phone with Trump and Zelensky, with Trump and other world leaders, where he's helping make foreign policy decisions, where he killed a continuing resolution bill which was being negotiated for months. And by the way, he took out a provision that would have sent $190 million to research child cancer. This is who this guy is. He has no business and no right to be in this position. If you support Elon having this much power, you're against our constitutional republic and representative democracy, and you simply want us to be an out-and-out oligarchy, or the new word that I learned, kakistocracy, which is government basically led by the dumbest and worst among us. That's what Elon represents, and that's what Trump represents. One more time. I mean, what this guy says, we're going to read the comments in a second because I'm curious what everybody's saying about this. But this is honestly one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. This is literal Gilded Age logic, right? Oh, when they're so wealthy and they're so successful, it's because they're more moral than us, they're better than us, they're harder working than us, and obviously they have no malincentives. This isn't about greed and lust for power and money. This is just, they just want to implement their perfect vision of a utopian society.
The political aspects of what he wants to do on the Hill, and he has outsiders. And as much as people say, well, Elon is a billionaire outsider. First, I don't mind that they're billionaires. I like people that are successful. Where's the difference whether they're a billionaire or broke? I'd rather have someone successful.
I'd rather have somebody who's broke. Because if you have people in Congress who are lower middle class, right, they're working class people, they're more likely to understand the plight of regular Americans. They're more likely to give us a 4-day work week and a higher minimum wage and the right to a union, etc.
And I like that it's an outsider and an engineer and not a politician and not looking for anything out of it.
He's not that much of an outsider.
He's not looking for anything out of it. Imagine being this naive. Imagine being this fucking stupid.
Outsider. In fact, one of the criticisms and the concerns is that he has billions of dollars tied up in government contracts. You don't see a conflict of interest here?
Everyone has a conflict of interest
but
at
that's
some
like
level.
A pretty big...
Everyone has a conflict of... Oh, my God. Hey, we're all bought and owned. Hey, we all take money from corporate America. We all take money from APAC. We all take money from the military-industrial complex. We all take money from big pharma. We all take money from the health insurance companies. That's the problem. That's the problem. This is why all of you are despised.
The guy's worth $450 billion as of today and this month. So I don't think he's doing it for the money. He's doing it.
The guy who amassed a fortune to become the wealthiest man to ever live in human history, obviously he doesn't care a lot about money, bro. I mean, what are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? That's like saying this porn star guy who slept with 100 women in a single day. He's not doing it because of the sex, bro. He's not doing it because it's about the sex, bro. Like, that's how stupid you sound. How do you not realize this?
For the bigger project and the bigger vision of America, he doesn't need the dollars. He really doesn't. So it's not about, if I get involved in this, I'll get another little contract here or there. It
is literally 100% about that. And it is about having his own government, buying a political party, doing what he wants with the country. By the way, the ideological thought leader for all these freaks, including J.D. Vance, is this guy by the name of Curtis Yarvin, right? And Peter Thiel as well. This guy by the name of Curtis Yarvin. And he wants us, he's open about the fact, well, I think corporations function way better than democracies do. So I want to set up a situation where we break America up into like these corporate fiefdoms, where you have a CEO who's basically the emperor god king in this little corporate fiefdom. Like, this is openly what they want. This is openly what they want. They want to turn America into more of a corporate system where you have corporate overlords and it's ruled by these emperor overlord god kings who are the tech bros in Silicon Valley. This is what they want. And he's acting like, bro, there's nothing nefarious about this, bro.
So I like the fact that he's, in a way, he's so rich, he's so removed from the potential financial influence of it.
I mean, what are you supposed to do with a guy this stupid? All right, let's read some of the comments. It is illegal for any federal contractor to make any political donation. Musk donated more than $277 million towards electing Trump. Wake me up when our laws start to matter again. Hell yeah. Yes, sir. Hell yeah. This guy nailed it. Like, the wealthy can just violate 1,000 laws before brunch, because they have brunch, by the way, and nothing happens. Remember when Sununu was considered the great last hope for normal Republicans? LOL. I didn't let the guy rob me. I gave him the keys to my house. In conclusion, while Sununu might downplay the influence due to Musk's wealth, the issue of conflict of interest remains significant, particularly when it involves billions in government contracts. Transparency, regulatory checks, and public scrutiny are essential. Yeah, guys, this is the other thing. Elon Musk is literally trying to eliminate the National Labor Relations Board, which would destroy unions in this country, and eliminate the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which has returned $19 billion to Americans who were defrauded by big financial institutions. He is on the side of the big financial institutions defrauding Americans. He's on their side openly, clearly, plainly. Do you understand? So to act like there's nothing nefarious here, he's just doing it for the love of the game or whatever. It's like, what game are we talking about? The game is give us total control. The game is no cop on the beat. Effectively, what Elon wants is to defund the corporate cops, have zero regulatory state whatsoever. We can violate whatever environmental laws we'd like to violate. We can pollute however we want to pollute. We could screw over our workers however we want to screw over our workers. This is what they want. This is what they want, an anarcho-capitalist hellscape, except it's worse than that, because it's anarcho-capitalism for you, where you get to struggle and you can't pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and it's socialism for him, where he can shake down the government for billions of dollars, whatever the hell he wants, because he's the overlord. Why is it that they claim that the wealthy have so much money they don't need anymore, while at the same time fighting to give them more tax cuts? Yes! Yes, what a great point. What a great point. That answer is unacceptable and unconstitutional. Sununu's logic: billionaires are too rich to be influenced, but somehow not too rich to pocket government contracts. Hypocrisy dressed as wisdom. Thank God people are onto this crap, man. Thank God people are onto this crap. What a shameful loser this guy is. That's the only way to say it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.